Night in Oakland, but the Rockets come in and tarnish the proceedings. Rockets up one, final seconds. Steph Curry not able to hit. Ball bounces around, winds up in Kevin Durant's hands. Durant had 20, but the ball still on his fingertips there. So they wave off what would have been a game winner, and the Rockets escape with a 122-121 win. You see there, the ball clearly still in Durant's hands as the clock goes to zero.
Either way, man, hell of a game. Felt like it was a playoff game. We put up a fight, man. We gave them so many points in transition. That's the team we're about. We're gonna fight back. We're gonna fight back every possession, every game, and came here with the win.
Let's welcome in Stephen A. Smith now, who joins us from Cleveland. Stephen, this game really seemed to turn when Draymond Green left with that knee sprain. What was your impression of how things went down the stretch?
Well, he's your Energizer Bunny, and he's one of the top defensive players in the game. So anytime he goes down, you're going to suffer considerably if you're the Golden State Warriors, and I think that's one of the things that's transpired. But let's give credit where credit is due. James Harden is a superstar scorer. We all know this. That's why he dropped 27 tonight. Chris Paul didn't have a spectacular night offensively, but you saw him record 11 assists. And then you look at the bench. You look at a guy like Eric Gordon, who got aggressive. He dropped 24. You look at Tucker, who they acquired in the offseason. He gave you 20. And so when you look at something like that along those lines, and Luke Mbamute, he got 14 points as well. You're not anticipating that those guys are going to give you something offensively outside of Gordon, but that's what Houston does. Mike D'Antoni is brilliant offensively. He finds a way to get everybody involved and to make sure everybody gets their share of shots and have an opportunity to make some noise on the offensive side of the ball. That's what you saw Houston do tonight. And with CP3, they're running the show to some degree, taking the pressure off of James Harden. He was free to do damage when he needed to do damage, and that's why I think you saw in terms of the difference in tonight's game.
All right, so confidence boost for Houston, especially with all the pieces that they're trying to fit together there. Let's look big picture now for the Warriors. They get 23 points from Nick Young, including 20 in the first half. I mean, they're not used to that kind of bench scoring from anybody during this run that they've had the last few years. What could he do for them that they haven't had?
Oh, he can do major damage simply because if nothing else, he can shoot. He may not play defense for you, may not make the right plays all the time. He's not the headiest player in the world, but he is a talent who can put the ball in the hole. And that was when he was playing for other teams as opposed to a team like the Golden State Warriors, where you have a superstar in Kevin Durant and Steph Curry. You've got a sniper in Klay Thompson as well. These guys are going to get you open shots. There's no question about it. He's spelling for one of them. He ain't spelling for everybody. And so when he's on the floor, he's going to get open shots that he never received in his career. Expect what you saw tonight not to be a surprise, not to be an aberration. This is a guy who can shoot the basketball, and that's when it's contested. So imagine what he's capable of doing when the shots are open shots, which Steve Kerr and the Golden State Warriors system is clearly going to get him. He was a big-time pickup in the offseason because his style of play is perfect for what Golden State is trying to do on the offensive side of the ball, and he's fully equipped to take advantage of that, and that's why I think it's going to help them. Tonight's game, it's a loss, but it's the first game of the regular season. It's no biggie at all. It's not going to stop them from winning 65-plus games. I can tell you that.
All right, that being said, though, I mean, the Warriors picked by just about everybody to be the favorite not only in the West but also in the overall NBA. What does a win like this do for Houston's confidence, knowing that they can go in there and get a win, even though it's just the first game of the season?
Well, it elevates their confidence exceptionally well because they know they could score on anybody, but being down 17 and coming back and tying the score and ultimately winning the game, that shows you that you're capable of getting stops as well if you keep grinding and grinding and grinding. And that's one of the things that D'Antoni is going to preach. You know, some people will take the D out of his name and call him Anthony because it's oxymoron to put D in the name of D'Antoni. When it comes to defense, that's just not going to work. But sometimes a better defense is a great offense that keeps grinding and keeps pushing and keeps coming after you because it tends to demoralize most opponents because they struggle to keep the pace. Golden State is not a team that's going to happen to on most nights. But when you look at Houston, the fact that you could beat Golden State and you could come back from such a deficit does give you confidence against everybody else because everybody else you're playing against are not the Golden State State Warriors. So this is why they went out and got a CP3 and they got a Tucker and they got Luke Mbamute and they got these guys because they believe that there's damage that they can do and they can clearly do it on the offensive side of the ball. We'll see if they can keep it up. Time will tell.
All right, Steve, we appreciate you staying up late to join us.
Thanks a lot, man.
So once again, Draymond Green sat out the fourth quarter, and that's where the game turned. Rockets outscored the Warriors by 14 points in the fourth after entering the quarter with a 13-point lead. And I can do the math. That means you lose by 1. They had won 143 of their last 144 games when leading by 13-plus points entering the fourth quarter. The only loss in that span, January 6th against the Grizzlies.